In 2003, the FBI arrested a man who turned $800 into $350 million in just 2 weeks. His explanation: he was a time traveler from 250 years in the future. But here's the wildest part: he vanished without a trace before his court hearing. Time travel has captivated our imagination for centuries. From H.G. Wells to modern blockbusters like Interstellar, we've dreamed of breaking free from time's constraints. But is it actually possible? Today, we're diving deep into the science behind time travel, and you might be shocked to learn that some forms of time travel aren't just science fiction anymore. The story of Andrew Carlssin sounds like something straight out of a movie. A mysterious investor appears out of nowhere, makes impossible stock market predictions, and disappears just as mysteriously. The FBI couldn't find any records of him before December 2002. No birth certificate, no social security number, nothing. When questioned, he claimed he had detailed knowledge of the future because that's where he came from. But before we get caught up in this fascinating tale, let's break down what we actually know about time travel. Scientists have identified several theoretical ways it could work. Think of time like a river, sometimes flowing fast, sometimes slow, and occasionally even forming whirlpools that could let you move backward. Einstein's theory of special relativity completely changed our understanding of time. Before Einstein, everyone thought time was constant, ticking away at the same rate whether you were on Earth or floating in space. But Einstein proved this wrong. He showed that time is more like a stretchy rubber band that can speed up or slow down depending on two main factors: speed and gravity. Let's start with speed. The faster you move, the slower time passes for you compared to someone standing still. This isn't science fiction, we've actually proven it. In 1971, scientists put atomic clocks on airplanes and flew them around the world. When they landed, these clocks showed slightly different times than identical clocks that stayed on the ground. The difference was tiny, just nanoseconds, but it proved Einstein right. Here's where it gets really interesting. If you could build a spacecraft that travels close to the speed of light, you could experience dramatic time dilation. Spend 10 years traveling at these incredible speeds, and when you return to Earth, thousands of years might have passed. You'd essentially be traveling into the future. In fact, we already have a time traveler among us. Russian cosmonaut Gennady Padalka has spent 879 days in space, moving at about 28,000 kilometers per hour. Because of time dilation, he's actually about 0.02 seconds younger than he would be if he'd stayed on Earth. Not exactly enough to meet your great-great-grandchildren, but proof that time travel to the future is possible. Gravity is the other way to bend time. The stronger the gravitational field, the slower time passes. This is why time moves slightly faster at the top of Mount Everest than at sea level. The effect becomes dramatic near extremely massive objects like black holes. Get close enough to a black hole, and time could slow down so much that 1 hour for you might equal years or decades back on Earth, exactly like in Interstellar. But what about traveling to the past? This is where things get really complicated. While Einstein's equations don't explicitly forbid backward time travel, it creates massive logical problems. The most famous is the grandfather paradox. If you went back in time and prevented your grandparents from meeting, how could you exist to make the trip in the first place? Some physicists, like Kip Thorne, suggest that wormholes might offer a way around this. These theoretical tunnels through space-time could potentially connect different points in time, but creating a stable wormhole would require exotic matter with negative energy, something we're not even sure exists. Stephen Hawking once held a party for time travelers, but he sent out the invitations after the party was over. No one showed up, which he saw as pretty good evidence that backward time travel isn't possible. If it were, wouldn't we be constantly running into tourists from the future? So what about Andrew Carlssin, our mysterious stock market genius? Well, here's the twist: the whole story was actually published first in Weekly World News, a tabloid famous for outlandish fiction. It was later picked up by other news outlets who reported it as fact, creating one of the internet's earliest viral fake news stories. The reality of time travel is both more and less exciting than science fiction would have us believe. We can't jump back to ancient Egypt or zip forward to the year 3000 in a DeLorean, but we are already making tiny jumps into the future through the natural effects of speed and gravity. As our technology advances, these jumps might become more significant. We're living in an age where science fiction is gradually becoming science fact. While we might never build a time machine like H.G. Wells imagined, Our understanding of time's flexible nature opens up fascinating possibilities for the future of human exploration and discovery. Want to explore more mind-bending scientific mysteries? Check out our more videos